What's up everyone, and welcome to Homebrew Subaru. I've got my kayak here in the garage, and over the last couple months I've spent a lot of my time out on the water. During a bunch of my adventures I really started to come up with a list of extra accessories that I wanted to get in order to make my experience out on the water that much better. Now, to be perfectly honest, I haven't had a lot of use of the items sitting here inside the kayak, but we're going to go through each thing individually and I'll tell you the reasons I ended up picking up what I did. We will kick things off with the dry bags, and the first one I purchased is this Yitgog brand. It's just a regular Amazon brand. They probably rebrand the same bag with 5 different names. It's more of a backpack style. It is 40 liters, and the material used is extremely durable. I decided on at least one very durable dry bag, something large enough that I can put all of my electronics in there, especially like a power station. And that way, if I go kayak camping and need to take everything with me, the chance that the kayak actually rolls over and flips and this ends up in the water, it's going to keep all that stuff safe and sound. Or in just regular heavy downpour of rain, it'll keep all those electronics dry. And having the shoulder straps, you can get it on my back and carry it quite easily. The bag itself comes with this cell phone holder, and even though it's probably not waterproof, it's a good way to manage keeping your phone from going overboard and ending at the bottom of the lake. Now, this bag is quite large and bulky, so I decided to get a few of the lighter bags. These are more like a rain jacket type material. I've got 2 20 liters and I got 1 40 liter, and that's just if I end up kayak camping and want to take my bedding and clothes and that sort of thing, because once that stuff's wet, you're in a lot of trouble at that point. And I'd rather kind of be able to package up a lot more than what I probably need and be safe when I'm out there in the woods. Couple of reasons I really like these bags. For one was the cost. I think this 20 liter bag was about $12 on Amazon. But the other thing, as long as you get all the air out of them, they collapse up to be so small and don't take up any space at all. And just having it on the kayak and keeping a couple items in there, even with the paddle coming over the kayak and spilling water into the kayak, you can keep a bunch of stuff dry and not have to worry about it at all. These next few items are pretty much self-explanatory, but I'll go over them anyway. I got the fingerless gloves because, I kept on getting this really bad blister on my thumb just from actually paddling, and the gloves have solved that issue on their own. And having them fingerless, they allow me to tie up line and get hooks out, and just, having that fingertip feel on everything. I did go ahead and get these kayak grips, which I haven't installed yet. Of course, I got them in the orange color on Amazon. I think these are just going to assist the gloves in giving a lot more paddle comfort, and we'll try these on in a second. The next 2 items I got, kind of because I had an issue on the water and I actually had a rod go overboard and I lost it. Here's that clip. I got him in the net, finally. Oh, he's a keeper for sure. He's the biggest fish I got so far. Oh, don't come out of the boat, bro. Wow. You're super active. We're gonna have to put you down already. But somehow, the rod went over and I lost my rod. And after that happened, I decided to get myself a designated rod holder. Not that there's anything wrong with the rod holders on the kayak, but this way I'll be able to actually lock a rod in place. And if the kayak does go over, I'm not going to lose another rod. It also angles in all different directions. Great for trolling. It's got 2 T-bar mounts on the bottom to keep it nice and sturdy. And it does have regular hardware, so you can fasten it directly to the kayak if you wish. And then you can actually just something like this, and actually just pop it off and leave that mount on the kayak during travel. And the fishing magnet, that was actually a previous idea. I kept on seeing people's lost lures around the docks, and I was thinking this would be a great idea to be able to retrieve some of them. And then actually when I lost my own rod, I actually went out with this thinking I'd be able to find the rod and be able to grab it by the reel, but that didn't happen. I've got about 25 feet or so of that orange paracord, and hopefully it does me some good in the future. The instructions for these are just to wet the inside and then try and force them on. Actually, they're going on a little easier than I thought they would. Probably just have to push and twist and and kind of get it to the position I think it should be in. And I assume when the water dries out of them, they'll stick on there real tight. And with a little bit of effort, I've got both of them on. I think they're spaced out pretty good, and I can always adjust them later on when I get on the water. Next up is an accessory for my awesome seat that I've already modified with a custom seat riser. You may want to go take a look at that video. It could give you some ideas on building your own. But these seats fold down into a more of a bench position and allowing you to sit up on top here with your knees quite bent. The problem with these is that's a hard surface. It's just got this little thin piece of cushioning, the same type of stuff that's on the footrest here. And it's very flat. Any amount of time sitting on this, your ass is going to be sore. So I went ahead and found one of these silicone seat cushions. They're basically multi-layered silicone inside them. The cushion's also got these contoured areas for your ass crack and your crotch. It's got these silicone beads on the bottom of it that will really help hold the cushion in place. And not only is your ass going to thank you, but your knees will, because you have an extra 1.5 inches, 2 inches of height sitting on the bench. Another good thing about the seat is it has its own storage solution for the cushion. You can stuff it right in the back there, raise the seat back up, and it's stored in the back side of it. And then some days when you come out and it's been raining and your seat's all wet, you can actually take the cushion out, sit it in place, not only for comfort, but to keep your ass dry. Last but not least is the Kayak Cart. I purchased this from Vivor, obviously to help me get the kayak from the vehicle down to the water without dragging it over asphalt or rock or gravel or whatever. It's just something I can mount the kayak onto and probably load a little bit of weight into it because it's already quite heavy on its own, and to be carrying it by hand is not easy. So this will allow me to turn the kayak essentially into a wagon, load a bunch of my gear into it, and actually wheel it down to the water. Now, fully assembled, this takes up quite a bit of room, but when you disassemble it and have it all in its pieces, it's quite easy to store in your vehicle. I've actually been keeping it down in the passenger side footwell and taking it with me on most trips, even though I haven't run into a position where I've actually needed to use it yet. As you can see, the Kayak Cart is quite large when it's fully assembled, but it's easy to assemble and easy to disassemble. The arms are fully adjustable to fit any kayak out on the market. You get this little footrest or kickstand that will keep the cart from rolling if you rest the kayak down. Some non-slip grips that will also help insulate the kayak from the cart. And then some cam lock straps to actually strap the Kayak Cart to the kayak. To give you an idea of what the cart looks like mounted from the underside, you can see the two rails lined up against the hull and then equalized on both sides to keep it stable. Now, with a bit of added weight, and without even using the straps to hold the cart to the kayak, can literally just come to the front handle and lift everything and roll this thing wherever it needs to go. And this is what I considered my kayak to be fully accessorized at this point. The only other thing I'd really like to get in a few years from now is maybe to put a trolling motor on the back of it, but until then, this is going to do me just fine. Hopefully I gave you guys some ideas for accessorizing your own kayak for your own needs. You don't exactly have to do what I did. To each is their own, if you know what I mean. If you like this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.